So my name's Steve Jones, Cube Optics. Just for a bit of background, Cube Optics, based in Mainz, about 20 minutes from Frankfurt Airport, been going about 10 years. And we're going to talk about layer 1 stuff. Just looking at very quickly at the slide there, that there's been a lot of talk recently about 100 gigs, but most talk about 100 gig has been in the long haul. What we're going to look at here is really looking at 100 gig now in the metro. I understand the price is still an issue in terms of pluggable CFPs, but I would ask you to think about what the price of 10 gig optics were a few years back, and there's no doubt at all that those prices are dropping. The slides, without going into too much detail on the actual graph, we know, because we're suppliers to many of the leading transceiver manufacturers, that is 40 and 100 gig is certainly happening, and it's beginning to accelerate. So just looking at this quickly, 100 gig CFPs, they actually transporting at 4 times 25 gig using single mode duplex fibers. The lasers themselves on the CFPs are actually 50 gigahertz spacing tunable transceivers that are often that are tunable on the switch or by external devices. These 4 times 25 gig lambdas are, as I say, they are definable. They can actually fit in with within the ITU spec. You can actually add up to 96 channels within a DWDM multiplexer with a 50 gigahertz spacing, 24 different colors, to give you 2.4 terabits in total. These are extendable by using standard EDFA amplifiers, 100 kilometers, but we'll come back to that in a moment. So as I say, each of these lambdas, 4 lambdas at a time to give you your 100 gig, 4 times 24, and these can actually come off different CFPs to give you up to 96 lambdas over a DWDM MUX. So just building this up, I acknowledge that not everyone's going to go straight 100 gig today, that most organizations will go from a N times 10 gig, so we've got 10 gig switches, they could be SFPs, XFPs, not worrying about the Zen packs or whatever, into 100 gig MUX. That's pretty standard with 100 gigahertz spacing. What we're talking about now is potential to add 100 gig CFPs, 4 times 25 gig, again into 100 gigahertz DWDM MUX, totally possible. You may or may not require compensation or amplification because you can't drive the 100 gig as far as you can drive the 10 gig. The transceivers just simply aren't there today. And then by using interleavers, you can actually mix your 10 gig and 100 gig traffic over the same fiber. So there's a migration path from N times 10 gig today to N times 100 gig. This is all possible. You can even do it cheaper than this by using wideband 1310 nanometer 100 gig transceivers, and if you want to extend that, you can do that over SOA amplifiers. Issues to be aware of. So the garden's rosy, everything's looking fantastic. DWDM transceivers, CFPs, you cannot drive them as far as 10 gig today. They will certainly reach 15, 20 kilometers. That's ish, depends on your fiber and a number of other factors. You have to think about, if you're going to run in multiple 100 gigs, you do have to take into account amplification, dispersion compensation. I can never say that. And also FEC, the equipment that this is plugging into is still, the FEC algorithm used on the transceivers is still very vendor specific, so you have to be very careful on the FEC on these transceivers. But as I mentioned earlier, that gives you a migration path from taking 10 gig or N times 10 gig, 40 gig, and to 100 gig. We've written a little white paper that's available via that URL that explains that in much more technical detail. I think that's just about 5 minutes. Any quick questions? I'll escape quickly. Thank you very much.